I posted my March reading wrap up yesterday and I legit forgot to talk about 4 books. And they're books I actually really enjoyed, so we're gonna talk about them now. The first book that I forgot to talk about was Didion and Babbitts by Lily Analick. I'm one of those women who just finds Joan Didion fascinating, and I didn't know anything about Eve Babbitts, but because of the cover, that's why I picked this book up. It's these two women who knew each other in the same field in the same time, but somehow they are almost the antithesis of each other, despite the fact that they have the same ish careers. And when I say same careers, I mean they were in the same field, but the way that they went about their careers, the choices that they made, the values that they held close to themselves, I do not think were the same. This is almost like a memoir of Eve Babbitts, but juxtaposed to Joan Didion. I really enjoy 60s, 70s, 80s gossip. The times that these women were writing about were these huge cultural moments. Like at the time, they knew they were these huge cultural moments, but at this time, when we can look back, we can see how we got from point A, B, C to where we are now. And reading this and seeing the role that these women played, but also what became of their lives is very interesting. The next book that I read was Hollywood's Eve, also by Lily Analick. So this was her first book, and this I would say is much more a memoir. She says it is not a memoir. I think it is very memoir-esque. I think memoir just isn't what she was going for. My understanding of how this came about is she was writing Hollywood's Eve, and while writing it, Eve Babbitts passed away. These letters between her and Joan Didion became available to her, and she realized that there was so much more to this story. And as she began to add those in, she realized, oh, this is actually a completely separate book. After reading both of these, I disagree. I do not think they were two separate books. I think Didion and Babbitts is literally just Hollywood's Eve with the theme now that she is being juxtaposed with Joan Didion. A large chunk of Didion Babbitts is verbatim Hollywood's Eve. So you can go ahead and skip Hollywood's Eve if you're interested. Just read Didion and Babbitts. You are getting all of the exact same information about Eve Babbitts, plus information about Joan Didion and comparing one to the other. My next audiobook was M Train by Patti Smith. I actually didn't know anything about Patti Smith. I knew that she was a musician, is a musician. I believe she's still alive. I actually don't know. But this was such an inspiring and peaceful listening experience. The way she is present throughout her life, I felt like I didn't even know she was a celebrity from reading this. Like I had that foreknowledge, but she is so present in her everyday and observant and aware of her emotions and is able to analyze herself after coming out of situations that this just felt like a very grounding experience. And my response to it was I'm inspired to journal and become more present in my own life because of this reading experience. I really, really recommend it. And hopefully at some point this year, I will also be reading Just Kids by her. And then my final listen of the year was The View from Lake Como by Andriana Trigiani, another one that I chose because of the cover. This was beautiful. It was kind of a family drama. This young woman taking herself out of her environment to discover herself, responding to the circumstances of life, and then making it her own. This was light and easy without being vapid. I appreciated this.